repeal it and replace it.
So let's talk about the speech tonight. Alex, do you have the poll that I sent you earlier, that the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll that showed how everybody was doing as far as favorability ratings? All right, so it's very interesting, Jeremy Peters, when the President of the United States goes into the chamber tonight, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of people. There are going to be a lot of press up in the gallery, and they're all saying how unpopular he is. There's historically low ratings, blah, 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 blah. Look at these numbers. Paul Ryan, 34 positive, 35 negative. Donald Trump, 43 positive, 47 negative. Republican Party, 35-43. Donald Trump is a net -4. The Republican Party is a net -9. Chuck Schumer, 17-26, a net -9. The Democratic Party, 30-46, a net -16. Those are shocking numbers to me. Mitch McConnell, 14-34, a net -20. Nancy Pelosi, 19-44, a net -25. Listen, it's a tough business. No, I mean, being in politics is a tough business. I don't mock any of those people who are public servants who have committed their lives to this country, and in fact, I salute them. All I'm saying is, politically, when Donald Trump walks into the chamber tonight, he will know that even if he is the lowest rated president at this stage in modern history, he is still the most popular man standing in that room.
That's right.
That gives you the ability actually to be gracious.
We'll see if he is. I think.
Let's hope.
Yeah, he has not shown a tremendous amount of grace. I mean, he did on election night, right, when he said, my job is to be a president for all people.
He certainly did on election night.
These numbers suggest he has the room to do that. Look at his numbers with Republicans. In the same survey, 87%, I believe it was, favorability with Republicans. That was as high as he had at the pinnacle of his popularity during the campaign season.
Yeah.
Now, these numbers are not great. Let's not gloss over the fact that he is at a historic low for a new president, and Obama's approval ratings were 20 points higher than this at this point in his presidency. You know, that said, Trump understands that what he needs to do tonight and what he needs to do for the next few years on down the road is make people feel better. And there's reason to believe in these numbers that you see people have a more optimistic view about the direction of the country and the future. And if he can deliver that 3 years from now, you know, we may be looking at a two-term president. So,
Mika, the question, I want to ask you, you look at the numbers that we put up there.
Yeah.
Are you surprised how much better Trump is doing versus the Democrats, Pelosi, Schumer?
No, I'm not. The Democrats are in complete disarray, and I think that there isn't a clear. I think what we saw even over the weekend with the DNC chair is just a sign of a lot of work that needs to be done. It's not that it can't be done, but we lost, and we lost badly, and we have a lot of extremes we need to pull together.
You know, Mark, one of the reasons I'm surprised by that Democratic number is usually all a party needs to see their numbers go up is to be put in the minority.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's different.
So in this case, the Democrats have been put in the minority. There have been all of these protests from day one. We in the press have been so locked in and engaged into that. Everybody's battling it. This time, the Democrats are going to be engaged. You look at that poll. Yeah, I will just say it again. I'm really surprised the Democrats have the amount of work they have to do.
Oh, I'm not.
30 approve, 46 disapprove. That's a number. And Jim will know what I'm saying here. We Republicans are used to having those numbers attached to us. We're not used to seeing those numbers attached to Democrats.
As much as they've shown some energy in the streets and elsewhere since the election, I think that number is connected to the reasons why over most of President Obama's time in office, they lost race after race around the country because their brand is in crisis.
There's such a cultural disconnect.
What does the Democratic Party stand for in the congressman's district? What do they stand for anywhere except on the coasts where they have lost race after race?
Don't underestimate the protests. The protest meant something, and they're a great data grab, and there are more to come, and there will be movement. It doesn't happen overnight, but the mask is off. And the whole system is rigged kind of attack was turned on the Democrats.
And just say one thing. A lot of people obviously don't approve of the Democratic Party who are Republicans, but a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters on the far left don't like the Democratic Party either. That drives their number way down.
Hatred from within.
The problem is, I mean, I'm not here to give the Democrats advice, but the bigger problem is what happened in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan,
Right.
and Wisconsin. In the upper Midwest, where the Democrat Party took a trounce or took a beating in this election. So appealing to those working class, middle class families, I think our party is now doing a much better job of, and that's a reflection of Donald Trump's
Aging
leadership.
Joe Biden.
Touching on that for a second, you know, Jim, a lot of people were shocked that Donald Trump won. I was more shocked that in a presidential year, I'm dead serious, Ron Johnson,
Yeah.
a hardline, staunch conservative,
Good man. Yeah.
won Wisconsin
Sure
in
did.
a presidency. Listen, it's one thing if we Republicans win Wisconsin in 10 and 14 and 18 and off year
No,
elections.
you can attribute that to President Trump.
But that's pretty stunning. Ron Johnson won there.
Won our state by President Trump won our state by 8.5 points.
In Ohio?
Yeah, I mean,
And
you
in
got a good feeling before the
Pennsylvania?
election, but no one would ever predicted 8.5 points.
Nobody would
No.
have
Something that
predicted
people also forget
It's really
is that
stunning.
go next door to Minnesota. Trump only lost Minnesota by about 40,000 votes.
Do you remember?
That's
Do you
incredible.
remember when they went flying to Minnesota a couple days before Mark Halperin, and everybody mocked and
We're nimble.
ridiculed them? I mean, we got to underline
No,
this
you're
to
so
talk
right.
about how much the press was off during the campaign. Go back. Look at the Twitter feeds
And the Democrats.
of elite journalists and Democrats, and the mocking and the ridiculing that the Trump campaign got for even stopping in Minnesota. They almost won.
And Michigan.
And what
And
was
Michigan.
happening with the Democrats? I mean, weren't they doing like a Congress with concert with
Concert with
Beyonce or
Beyonce,
something?
yeah.
I mean, there was something so arrogant happening.
To be fair,
on
they
the
did get
Clintons.
Beyonce's vote.
Well, and to be fair,
Well,
as well,
they had
this was
Beyonce.
as much
The Queen.
Trump's. This was probably more Trump's loss in those states than it was. I'm sorry, more Hillary's loss than it was Trump's win, because Trump.
no.
Trump went. There were 100,000 people in Michigan who left the top
Yeah.
of the ballot blank. They couldn't stomach the thought of voting for either of them. That's not a huge vote of confidence in Donald
I'm
Trump.
not surprised at
When
those
we opened our
numbers.
party headquarters in Lima, Ohio, I had a guy walk up to me at the end. We'd had this speech, and I walked up to me and says, "I'm a union pipe fitter. I'm voting for Donald Trump, and I don't care what my leadership says. They ain't talking me out of it." That attitude, you could feel that and sense
Yes,
that.
you could.
That was important in this
A
campaign.
lot of people felt it. Congressman Jim Jordan, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Congressman.
Good
Always
to have
great
you
to
on.
see you. Good luck. Hey,
All right.
keep the deficit down.
We will, man.
I'm counting on
Good
you.
Lord.
All righty.
Good
I'm
luck
looking
with
at
those
you, man.
conservative
Okay.
principles.
No big government Republicanism.